Chapter 13, Working with Strings, Solution Movie 13.1. So in this exercise, we're going to put into practice several techniques you learned for working with strings in this chapter. So first we're going to create a playground named strings.playground. And I say strings, next, documents, create. Okay, for our first step, we add a string variable named s to the playground and initialize it to learning Swift is fun. Say var s equals learning Swift is fun. Okay, next step, we add a character variable named c to the playground and initialize it to exclamation mark. So we say var c character equals exclamation mark. So as we learned in this chapter, when you declare a variable of type character, you have to be explicit, because if you just leave this out, it will assume that this is a string type. So here you can see I've declared it as type character. So our next step is to append the character in variable c to the string in variable s. Now, as mentioned in the chapter, you can't use the plus or the plus equals operator to append a character to a string. But what we do instead is we say s.append, and the append method will let us append our character. So here we can say learning Swift is fun, and we've got an exclamation mark. So in step 5, we create a variable named count, and we determine the number of characters in string s and store it in count. So we declare the variable count, and we use the count elements function to count the number of characters in the string. And here you can see, works great, there are 22 characters. So our next step, append the value in the count variable to the end of the string s, so the final string reads, learning Swift is fun, hyphen n characters, where n is the actual character count. So let's do that. I'm going to say s plus equals, and I create a string, type space, hyphen, another space, and in order to insert the count in this string, I do backslash count, and I can say characters. And there we have it. Learning Swift is fun, 22 characters. So for our final step, we remove learning space from the beginning of the string in the s variable. So in this chapter we learned we can use string by replacing occurrences of string. So we're looking for learning space, press tab, and we're going to replace it with an empty string. Now we have these extra parameters that are actually optional, so I'll get rid of those. And here we have it. Instead of learning Swift is fun, we have Swift is fun. Now you may notice that it says 22 characters. Now it said 22 characters for this string, but 22 characters for that string. Do you know why? Well, the answer is playgrounds are executed from top to bottom. So at the point where we create the count, the string actually does have 22 characters. So if we wanted to see what the character count is when we get further down, what we can do is this. We move this code, these two lines, so I highlight all of it, I type Command X, and then I come down below the place where we remove the string, but notice that it still says 22 characters. Again, do you know why? Well, the answer is s.string by replacing occurrences of string doesn't affect this string. It actually returns another string, as you can see here, with the characters removed. If we want it to actually affect string s, we have to store it back into that variable. So I do that, and there it is. Swift is fun, 13 characters.